we're back with more River Talk. I never leave home without it anymore. The Moonshine barbecue sauce.
Yeah, you use that on meat, but let's don't talk about that right now because we're talking to somebody with animals here. Now, we don't. You're breaking out barbecue sauce, and we're talking about animals.
Still available, meat eaters, at the Jerry Cox Company, also over at our studios.
Good on roadkill.
Well, there's a lot of meat substitutes you could use that on as well.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
Are they good now?
Oh, they really
are.
are.
The meat substitutes are really good.
Yes,
I know there was a hamburger chain that was like freaking people out.
Oh, yeah. See, Beyond Burgers.
Oh,
yeah. But the Gardein company's really come up with a lot of meat replacements. Excellent. I mean, I haven't eaten meat in 18 years, but you know that everything I've eaten tastes just like I remember meat tasting.
Really?
Yes.
Huh.
Yes, I kid you not.
Wow.
Meatballs, some chicken strips, chicken nuggets, beef stew tips. I mean, there's all kinds of. I feel like I'm on a commercial for Gardein.
I know, right?
But it's really good. I mean,
them on the phone. We may have a new sponsor. Get them. Hey.
Yeah, I mean, they're really growing. I mean, I'm sure if you could get in on their profit sharing, you could make a lot of money. Because it's a lot more people are going vegan now, not only for animals, but for
you
their
had
health.
me at profit sharing, really. Yes, really. Cindy Hedrick joins us now. There's a guy lurking in the shadows here somewhere in the studio that has been on the show many, many times.
Yes.
And it was always talk about the SC Cares Animal Shelter.
That is correct.
When did that stop being a shelter?
Well, we in 2019.
Okay.
We had to make the decision, the most heartbreaking decision, to close. There were just my husband, who has appeared on your show, Skip Yeager, has multiple myeloma, which is bone cancer.
Okay.
And he's checked every 3 months, and they say it's incurable. So that looming fear was always in my mind. And then also, just after 13 years, we just didn't seem to be where we needed to be. Health-wise, financially, there were so many, fundraisers, and, I appreciate everything everybody did, even a $10 donation, but it just was never enough for what we were trying to do. And we just wanted to give the animals the best care possible. And it takes money to do that.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So, even our feed bill each month was outrageous to feed the animals, even with grocery donations from some of the grocery stores. So at that point, I made the decision first because everything in the future just looked dark. I couldn't figure out a way to solve these problems. So rather than the animals suffer with, deteriorating circumstances, I thought we should close, try to find great sanctuaries like ours to place the animals with. And we were so fortunate to do that.
Really?
Yes.
Boy, that had to be...
Oh, it was heartbreaking.
Oh, it did heartbreaking, but that had to be a tedious chore.
It was. I worked on it for the entire 10 months that it took us to do this. But we were so lucky that we got it. We got them all placed in 10 months.
That's wow.
It's amazing. The wild boars we had, or the wild feral pigs, were one of the biggest issues, because they're not allowed in so many states. They're considered pests, and thankfully Pig Preserve in Tennessee had a permit to have them, so we were able to get them there. So yes, transporting all these animals to all the different sanctuaries that they were going to. Some even were transported by truck with the Tigers, Lions, and Bears group to Arizona. So, it was just all over the United States. But, and it's weird because I didn't know, but, with Skip's cancer, that was already, a looming fear. And then after we closed, I found out I have lung cancer.
Oh, my goodness.
So, yeah, I've had surgery. They got it all. I'm going to do some chemo, so hopefully I'll be fine.
Good.
But there's no way we could have continued the sanctuary work in the situations now we're both in.
Yeah, sure.
So, the universe knew what was coming. So, thankfully, everything was taken care of.
Oh, you were...
So
that's a God thing that it was weighing on your heart that much. Mm-hmm. It tremendously is.
It was. The heartbreak of it, of having to do it, was bad enough.
Yeah.
Because, I knew each one of these creatures individually and loved them, with all my heart. Having to say goodbye to them, I'm going to cry.
No, I got a tissue. Go ahead.
Okay,
Yeah,
thank
go
you.
ahead.
Turn
Use
on
my
the
sleeve.
waterworks. Yeah, we good.
No, I actually put makeup on today, so it might get you
that's
messy.
Well, so did Deacon.
Shut up.
But thank you for
You
lighting
should
that
see
up.
how he looks without it. Ooh.
Not good, huh? Is he being ugly?
Yeah.
So thank you so much.
You're certainly welcome.
But anyway, so we said our goodbyes. I had to come to terms with that. Now, the whole reason I wrote this book was because, other than taking care of the animals, which was our main focus, that was my heart. I enjoyed sharing their stories with people and helping people connect with these animals. And in Tales from Essie Cares, there are 12 stories in here just of some of the animals. We had 176 at our highest that lived at the sanctuary. And all of the animals, not all of them, I guess, but a large portion of them came to us with traumas, psychological issues. They'd been abused or neglected, and, their medical issues. It just, all of them had something they had to go through. And in doing that, I think people can understand that they are sentient creatures. They have to work through these traumas and these issues that they have, if possible. And all of the ones that I have from SC Cares did do that. And to hear the stories of what they went through, how they overcame it, and then were able to actually love and be happy again.
I don't think I'd want to meet a wild boar with a psychological problem.
No kidding. I know.
Ooh.
Our boar was actually, they were imprinted because they were hand raised. They were
Oh, is
found
that
in
right?
the wild. Yeah. But Wilbur, and he was pretty large for me.
Wilbur?
Wilbur was his name.
That's
yes,
some
it's
pig.
typical, right? But yeah, he was so excited at feeding time.
Oh, I bet.
You had to spot where his bowl was in the compound before you went through the door with his food bucket, because he would circle you until you got to the bucket or to the bowl to dump it out. So, it was like trying
yeah.
not to trip. Just get to the bowl and get the food dumped. Anyway, so yeah. And, and then we had an imprinted cow, Mayflower, who thought she was a 10-pound puppy. And she was 1,600 pounds, and she wanted to pounce around and dance and stand up on her hind legs, and she was terrifying. She was so massive.
Right.
So yeah, and then and then also another imprinted animal was a llama. And I'm going to write his stories in the second book. So there's just so many stories to tell.
Sure.
I got the first one done. I was just shocked that it even happened. I contacted Heather at the Georgetown Library, and I said, I've written a couple stories, and I want to figure out a way to share them with people. And she said, well, you need to contact Linda at Class Publishing at Litchfield Exchange. And I took the stories up there, and I had no idea that it would be anything. And she read them, and she said, Cindy, these are really great. She said, write some more stories and bring them all back to me.
Are they written from the animal's perspective?
I had started out, that was weird you asked that, because I had written them that way.
Okay.
And that was the one thing she asked me to do. She said, go back to the ones that I'd already written, change them to be your story for the animals. And actually, I didn't think it would be as good, but it really was, because I was able to share so much more information about everything. So it worked out, but she's the publisher, so she knew what she was doing.
How about that?
But yeah, so anyway, and I'm working on Tales 2. I don't know what we're going to call it, but I'm just so happy. And we've already sold out. We had ordered 250 books, and we've sold out, so I've ordered some more.
That's awesome. So,
yes,
so
that's great.
Essentially, this is a self-publishing endeavor.
It is. It is. Yes.
Well, this is family. This is like a family. It's a furry family.
It is.
Everybody
it is.
that has a pet.
Well, I recognize the
Yeah.
bird in the upper right-hand corner on the cover.
That's Geronimo. Yes, he came to us. He had been through several homes, and I'll just have to tell you, parrots do not do well with change.
Yeah.
Even if you move their cage just slightly,
Right.
it could freak them out, depending on the shadows or a curtain moving or something.
Yeah, see, mine,
So-
I let him watch television.
Well, that's probably good. It
Yeah, I
helps
had him
entertain
sit-
him.
Well, because he sits by the door so he can see the television
Good for
from
him.
the other
Good
room.
for him. They
Yeah.
really need a lot of enrichment. These parrots are just not meant to be in captivity, and I understand there are still a lot of them, and some of them in good homes, maybe like yours.
Oh, yeah.
But there are a lot that are not, and then they get passed around, and they're in 4 and 5 homes. And by the time we got Geronimo, luckily he was not one that had plucked all his feathers out. We do have one with the heart and soul of SC Cares, actually, Savannah, who did. But Geronimo came to us with some pretty foul language, and he was very bad to bite. And these parrots can actually take your finger off,
Oh,
the
yeah.
bone and
Oh,
all.
my
I mean,
goodness.
the macaws have a bite pressure of like 300 psi's.
Wow.
Oh, yeah.
So yeah, and you're looking at 200 and something, I think, is what it takes to break most of our smaller bones. So yeah, he definitely could take your finger off. And you know, it just took a lot of patience and a lot of love and a lot of being careful for me to work with him to get him to be able. Now, he was never one that I could pick up. He would try to come to me though, like he wanted attention, but. You know, I'm not stupid. I didn't want to lose something.
Oh, sure, yeah.
So, excuse me. Yeah, so, but he bonded with another parrot, which is even better because that's what they really want to do is bond to their own species. So
Okay.
he was very happy. Yeah, but he
Does
would.
language kind of get toned down a little bit?
It did. It took months, and I was so worried the other birds in there because all these birds pick up things. You know, I don't know
yeah,
if your
sure.
bird does, but
Got a
yeah.
whole
my
flock of
goodness.
dirty words.
Oh
going.
yeah, he did. He did. He would he would try to bite you and then say a couple of nasty words and you know like and you could tell he had been in a home that this was happening. So
So he's
that's-
one you don't want to invite the preacher over for Sunday.
No,
do
not
you?
really.
Get cussed out.
Not really. Yeah.
well, see-
but
see-
ignoring it was the
Yeah.
way to help
Right.
make that go away, because whatever attention they get, they like negative, positive. Not to say it doesn't cause stress issues, but the best way, because so trying to correct him or punish him in some way would not work at all to change his behavior. So when he would start that, I would ignore it. I wouldn't even acknowledge it, and I would go away. And I'd wait a while because he wanted my attention, and that's what he was doing to get it. And then I'd come back, and I would start a conversation with him. And a lot of times, and this is really funny, and there are some videos that are not going to be published anywhere, of me singing and dancing with them.
Oh,
And so
okay.
that's how
Oh,
we
yeah.
kind of, you know, it's like a child, just distract them with something else. So we'd turn the music on and I'd start dancing and singing, and they would start bobbing their heads, and, you know, some of them tried to sing, and it was kind of crazy, you know. In the whole hut, there's 50-some birds. So,
Wow.
you know, there were a lot of them that were dancing and singing.
So I got a yellow nape Amazon, and he likes women. He does. You know, if a girl goes by close to the cage, he's cool.
Yeah.
Guys get close to the cage, except for me, because I feed him.
Right.
I take care of him.
Yeah, he freaked out when I was
Yeah, he
there.
will
He
tear
acted
through
all
that.
weird.
Yeah.
It's really strange how they get like that, how they're gender specific with people, whether
yeah.
they like you or not, you know. Now some like all.
He just
you know,
gave
all-
me the look. I mean, he wasn't over the top. He gave me a
him the
look. He
look.
gave me the look.
That's right.
Yeah, I was not. I was
You
not
know
feeling
what?
the
You
love.
need to be leery because those Amazons are known to be biters.
Yeah.
Not all of them, but
Oh, I've been bit a few times by this
yeah,
guy.
yeah. We had.
Well, how can we get the book?
Yeah,
Okay.
We'll let you get out
Yeah,
of
just
here.
look
I
at
mean,
hold
you-
that book up, Jack. That's a.
Yeah,
Oh,
let me,
you wanna do
yeah,
it?
Yeah,
hold
oh,
that.
well,
Okay.
Yeah, that's a
See,
beautiful
there's a
book.
technique. I learned this in school.
Oh, you can put it in front of your face.
Yeah, that's usually.
If anyone is interested in having the book, if they will just email me at zookeeper, and that's 2 O's, a K, 2 E's, M as in my, B as in backyard, at yahoo.com.
Okay.
Then send me an email, and I will let you know how to get the book. You know, it's $17.50, and then $3.50 to mail it, which unless they want to pick it up at our candy store, Sweeties, in Georgetown on Front Street, then it would be $3.50 to mail it to them. So
And worth every
$21.
penny. That's a great looking
Well,
book.
thank you very much.
Oh,
And,
you got
know,
lots of photos in here.
Oh, it's full of
that's
pictures.
awesome.
It's full of pictures, yeah. The rehab of the deer who was paralyzed that we taught to walk, that was amazing. Not that we did it, but that it just worked out, that she just wouldn't give up. She kept fighting, trying to make herself better. So,
Well,
Wow.
God
I
bless
thank
you
you
too
for
being,
having me
Well,
on.
you know, you're so good with animals and all. I mean,
I
it's
tried.
just
Too
yeah,
cool.
yeah. I mean, this
That's
is
too cool.
fantastic.
thank you. I appreciate you
Well, do
guys
you have
having
enough
me on here.
stories to do more than the second book?
Oh,
that's coming out?
yes. I've already gotten 4 stories written, and I have to select which ones I'm going to write because I could probably do a third book if I'm doing 12 stories per
Yeah.
book. So, Yeah, there were a lot of animals and a lot of interesting stories that happened in the 13 years.
Well, do you have any pets at this point?
We have 4 dogs.
Okay,
and they're
I
all
was like going, you
rescued
couldn't go
hounds.
cold turkey.
Oh,
with
it was
No.
awful. We still live at the sanctuary, and it's like a ghost town.
Yeah.
Now, thankfully, we've got a flock of wild turkeys that are roaming around out there, so that helps a little bit.
Yeah,
you
sure,
know.
sure.
But yeah, we have 4 hounds that have come. They just showed up through the years that were in really bad shape, and so we've taken them in. They live in our house with us, and yeah, at least we have 4 dogs.
Yeah,
now.
you just
still have
can't-
plenty of love.
You can't let go. You just can't.
Oh,
let
I'll
go.
never be
Can't.
able to let
No.
go. In all my life, unless they put me in a nursing home and I can't have an animal, I will always have an animal of some sort.
That's great.
Yeah, they are my heart.
Well, good seeing you.
Nice to meet you.
Tell Skip we said hey.
All right,
We'll
I'll
just
do
do
it.
it now.
Hey.
Hey, Skip.
Hey,
He's
Skip.
over there. He's over there in the corner.
He's hiding in the
And
background.
we'll keep
over
you
there.
in our prayers. Bless
Thank
your heart as
you.
your
Yeah.
journey
Thank you.
continues. Yeah.
You know, I'm going to do my 4 rounds of chemo. Hopefully, that'll kill anything else in there, and I'll just keep pressing on.
Sounds like a plan.
Yeah.
Thank you so
That's
much.
it. Thank
hey, come
you.
on back. We got a little more river talk right after this.